Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. So as we know, Anthony Joshua will take on Kubrat Pulev on December 12th at the O2 Arena. That has now been officially announced by Eddie Hearn and by everyone else involved. Now, Anthony Joshua is obviously going to have to fight behind closed doors. The first time he has probably done that since like the amateurs when there weren't many people around. But during his pro career, he's never really done anything like this. It's normally 90,000 people at the Principality Stadium or at Wembley Stadium, or going to places like Saudi Arabia and getting 20,000 people into a custom built stadium for him. So at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is going to have to adjust to something completely different. Normally, it's his opponents having to adjust to that amount of people watching them. This time, Anthony Joshua is going to be the one who has to adjust to no one being there, aside from, the film crews and the trainers and a few Sky Sports studio members. That is all that will be there when Anthony Joshua fights Kubrat Pulev. Now, obviously, he's hoping that fans will come back by then, but it doesn't look that promising considering the current outlook. So it looks like it will be behind closed doors with no fans in the O2 Arena, where it all started for Anthony Joshua, especially his world title reign. So Anthony Joshua is going to have to adjust to this different environment, just like many other fighters, but it's different for him because he's used to mega shows, and obviously the hype that brings him is incredible. To some fighters that would be too much, but to Anthony Joshua, that just eggs him on more and more. This is what Anthony Joshua had to say about his respected fight with Kubrat Pulev on December 12th. December 12th is the date, and once again the heavyweight belts go back up into the air, and it's my sole focus to make sure that they come home December 13th. They are in their rightful place in the UK. The O2 is the original Lions Den. I have a lot of history with that arena, but without the fans, something huge is missing. I am really hoping that, safety permitting, we might be able to bring some boxing fans in, but we'll have to see. I respect every opponent, and I respect Pulev. I wish him well during his preparations. So there we go, that is what Anthony Joshua has had to say about the possibility of fans coming back for his fight with Kubrat Pulev, and it does look unlikely, which is a shame, but we still get the big fights. I mean, it's great for fans because we can still watch them. It doesn't have such an effect maybe on the fighters, because they are going in there, and fighters like Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua, who are used to having their name chanted as they walk to the ring and having their name chanted when they are starting to get their opponent going and starting to win the fight, and things start to open up, but they're not going to have that. They're going to have to find that adrenaline rush from somewhere else. Anthony Joshua, I believe, will be alright. Dillian Whyte seemed okay. Obviously, he got stopped in his last fight, but having no fans there wasn't the reason for that. Derek Chisora, that remains to be seen, because he loves it when people start chanting his name in the arena. He's going to have to find a way to replace that against Usyk, so it will be interesting to see how he does that. Whereas Anthony Joshua, used to 90,000 people, that is going to be a huge uplifting buzz that is going to be missed by Anthony Joshua, but he's a consummate professional, so he will find a way to get around that. And December 12th, the belts do go back up in the air. Anthony Joshua has to defend his heavyweight championship status and hopefully go into a fight with Tyson Fury. But of course, that is dependent upon what happens on December 12th with him and Kubrat Pulev. Obviously, Pulev is very confident. He believes he's going to be winning this fight. Otherwise, he wouldn't be taking it. So he does have a top opponent in front of him. It's just whether he can come around that. And I think Anthony Joshua will. I think he will be too good for Kubrat Pulev. And the crowd's not being there, it's not going to be easy for AJ to replace that kind of buzz. And obviously, the way he walks to the ring, he's always looking out across at the fans, and obviously he won't be doing that. He's not going to be doing that to the Sky Sports studio teams or anything like that. He'll just be walking to the ring, getting into the ring and doing the business. It's not so much of a show, although Matchroom do kind of put on a show. I mean, they tried to replace that kind of buzz at Fight Camp with fireworks, drones, and just the place it was set, the house in the background, London in the background. They have tried to replace that live audience buzz or whatever the fighter would get from that by the sets. And I'm guessing at the O2 they're going to bring something completely different, something innovative into the fight game. Obviously they are going to. That is why they are doing things differently. They're not doing studio shows, which I'm in agreement with Eddie Hearn. I'm not a big fan of studio shows because it does feel a little bit enclosed. So I do like it when they are trying to do things differently, like Fight Camp, like doing it at the O2, or MK Dons. That is what they done with the previous show. So there are many different ways in which they are exploring to kind of replace that kind of feel of fans being there. It's not really going to replace it until fans do come back, but it just adds a different look to it. It doesn't look like they've just plonked a ring in a studio. And as I said, the sets are cramped. It just feels like not like an amateur fight, because it's not even that. I mean, it's better when they try and do something different. Try and bring something different to the sport of boxing. They can have great shows. I mean, BT Sports have some brilliant shows. But again, it's in the studio. Why not do something different? That is what Matchroom are trying to do with these kind of fights. And you can guarantee, for the heavyweight championship of the world, AJ versus Pulev, they will definitely do something different. And I do hope they do that with Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois as well for BT Sports, because that is a huge fight. It's not on pay-per-view either, so it's like free to BT Sports subscription customers. So that will get a lot more eyes on Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. A very clever move to build the profile of both fighters. I know the same kind of money wouldn't be involved, although if it was on pay-per-view during the current lineup, it would not sell well at all, because there are just so many big fights around that point. It's going to take some fans away from those fights, it's going to lose fans itself to those fights, so it's just not great. So having it on, not free to air, but on a subscription service like BT Sport is just a good way to build the profile of both fighters and give fight fans something back, and casual fans as well, because that is why it will build the profile of both fighters. More people will be watching, and therefore more fans will be accumulated by Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, thus building their profile. So a smart move with regards to the fighters. But I hope they do something different. I don't believe they can just do it in a studio. But then again, I suppose we're getting the fight anyway, so we can't really be complaining. But it's just they have a mega fight, so I think that they should do something different in order to bring something else to the show. Because they will have so many people watching this, especially, as I said, if it's on that subscription service. And anyone can just watch, because anyone just will. So if they do something different, something interesting, something that catches the eye of the fan, then their boxers are going to get more exposure. I guarantee you there were many non-boxing fans watching Fight Camp just to see what it was about, just to see that, oh, this is something different. Let's have a look at this, because it's interesting. So that is how Matchroom have managed to bring in still casual fans of boxing because of doing something like this. And undoubtedly they will continue to do that going forward. I know Fight Camp is over now, that's done. There are many different things they can do with O2 Arena, with MK Dons. They've already done it. So that is the way they can kind of get that production value for these fights. And obviously, no fans being there, we want fans there. That is what we want more than anything in these boxing events. We are still getting the big fights, which is incredible. We really want to see these fights, and it's great that they are happening. But the next step is bringing fans back into the stadiums, into the arenas. That is very important for the sport of boxing, because of the entertainment, because of the fighters' purses, and being able to give young up-and-coming fighters their opportunities on a big stage, like in front of 10, 20, 30,000 people. That is what makes a fighter, and makes you realise that, okay, this fighter is ready and made for the big time. Because you can get a fighter who can do incredible things in the gym, but when they get in there under the lights in front of all of those people, they freeze, they can no longer do it. So it's not just about being able to perform in the gym, it's about being able to perform under the lights when it matters. And Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Alexander Usyk, they've proven that they can do that. This is something completely different for them. No fans there, but still the fights go ahead. AJ versus Pulev at December 12th. Fans or no fans, this fight goes ahead no matter what. Obviously, they are going to be looking to bring fans back into the arenas by that point, but if it cannot happen, the fight goes ahead regardless. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.